Hello everyone, I'm Kibitz and welcome back to Arknights Endfield, where it's been half a year since humanity landed on Talos-II and started developing the new world. Since then, we've gained a foothold, built our factories, and properly started developing the planet's industries. But while others have fought the good fight, I studied the factories. While they cleared the way, I exploited their gains. And while they were off paving the way figuratively, I paved the way literally. And today, we will continue our battle against the organic oppression in the new core chapter update, Homecoming, which gives us a new factory outpost and gas resources to automate. Alongside that, there are 2 new 6-star operators, a new boss to bully, new game modes, quality of life improvements, and a bunch of rewards for new and returning players. Best of all, the Arknights Endfield half anniversary update, Homecoming, is live now on PS5, PC, and mobile. So download and play today by clicking on the first link in the description. And thank you, Griffline, for sponsoring this video. Like usual though, we'll be dodging the war front and face the factory front. And knowing there's gas available, my baser human instincts compel me to acquire it. All of it. And once we figure out how the new gases work, the Zyrogen and Energen, we hyperfixate on efficiency and make things crazy, so we can make all the new gear and the monies. But alrighty, we got some new machines. We have like a solid gas transmuting unit, fluid into gases, gas dispersal, and gas reactor globe. What does that do? Looks like we can make hetonite gas, and then we get Zyrogen as a new resource. And that makes a whole new compound. But then we also need like an acrid environment. Does that mean we have to pollute around here a little bit more? Well, quite literally, it does. Because here's the deal. We now have tons of new gases in this game because we convert a lot of stuff into gases, with the end goal of making hetonite and pyrrolite. And this stuff, very good. To make it is a bit complicated though. Or is it? We get the new gas, Energen, combine it with cuprium, that makes a canister. The canisters make a separator core, combine that with more cuprium gas, and we get hetonite gas. Oh, but we need another stable environment. Oh, so we gotta pollute like everything everywhere. I like this. Gas and pollution, my bread and butter. Ooh, along with better efficiency. Oh, we'll get into that a little bit later though. But first up, the basics. And first, you're gonna need some water, some acid, and then go out and find, that gas. And once you do enough exploring and get the goods, you can run off and get the party started. And oh boy, we got a party here. This is like the most basic of basic setups we can make right now, where we have our main depot that's bringing the basic stuff we need. And then all of the machines here work to create pyrrolite and then transform it into these pyrrolite parts. And in just setting this up, there's quite a lot I've learned. Primarily, a lot of these machines actually need a solid intake of gases to work. Like for example, if you want to transmute solids to gases, you need to have the Zyrogen at a steady flow rate for the process to start. But the fun thing is, that steady flow rate, it doesn't need to be like a full pipe of the Zyrogen. It only needs to be like 6 units per minute. So if you want to be efficient, you want to limit this. However, if we're just trying to make things work, once we make the gas, that gas goes into a purifier. And the purifier will turn it into the hetonite. But then for this, we need those separator cores. And if we have a stable environment, we use like half as many. So that is really, really, really good if you want to do things well. Instead, we're figuring things out, so there is no gases being dispersed right now. However, we have to disperse gases at the next stage. But first, we want to use that Energen to make the new canisters, which combines with the Zyronite to make those separator cores, which isn't too bad. This is kind of the crazy part though, because once we purify and we make the new gas, the reactor globe needs to be in that acrid environment, right? To make the pyrrolite. And to make that environment, we need to pollute, right? We have to pollute the air with acid. So we got the acid and we have to transmute that into a gas with a fluid gas transmuting unit. And when you go on fluid to gas, you need liquid Zyronite in order to make that process work. So as you're probably piecing together, Zyronite is kind of like a transmuting tool and is mission critically important. It is also important to set things up correctly. But hey, making mistakes is okay, because you learn some new things, like hey, the pipes can go over top of the depot bus. Pretty useful. Very good for space efficiency. Anyway though, we'll just use a pipe bridge to go across here into the proper entrance now. And now we're cooking with gas, acidic gas, which we'll then pollute all over this area to make that acrid environment. And you kind of can see it makes like a bit of a border there. So machines within the border get a little spicy. But that is pretty much one of the final steps. We have the sparkly mist, our pyrolite, which can be transmuted back into a solid, our precious rock candy. And then, well, you can do whatever you really want. And right now, we're just gonna make them into parts. And that's the whole enchilada. Final step is to put them back into your stash. And cool thing actually is that the protocol stashes here, these little ones, have a belt-free mode. So it takes a little bit of time to transfer, sure, but now you don't have to belt that back to like your depot or back to the AIC sub pack. You just get your little droneerinskis to do it for you, which is perfect when you're not making like a ton of something per minute, because they are a little slow. And crazy enough, this was the basic rundown. This is how you set up all the new stuff. And as you're probably noticing, Zyronite is mission critically important. You need it for power, you need it for this whole setup, it's nuts. Which is why this more efficient version we're gonna be checking out later is mission critical. But right now, I just wanna make a better version of what we have here. So we'll put the depot to the bottom here and just take a bit of an overview. Right now we have our gases over here, depots down here, and acids over here, and water is kind of sitting in the corner. Then we'll start squishing these machines into a more kind of compact blueprint, which for now I guess means achoo. Irreversible? Okay, is gone. Now let's have some fun. And when I say fun, oh, I mean madness, absolute madness. Squishing all of this stuff down took me a little while, a little bit, but I learned so much. And the design, it's not bad. It's not bad. Again, the big thing is I don't know what I don't know. So my goal was just to shrink everything down. And I learned quite a few things. Number one, when you're messing with the environments, they can't overlap, which makes a lot of sense. So we have to have a stable and an acidic environment, right? So I separated the acid environment from the stable environment, then worked all the other machines around the environments in order to make the processing work out. And beyond that, chaos, absolute chaos. You know, like the efficient square picture where it's like how many squares can you fit in maximally into like a square space? This is the equivalent. In many ways, I hate it, but it's also incredible because it's relatively organized, where I've been able to label all of the inputs and outputs just by using belt and pipe control ports. And then to make things as efficient as possible, you can use these control ports to adjust flow rates for fluids and gases. So the dispersing unit only gets the gas it needs, nothing more. And the rest overflows into the other machines, which need the gases for production. And I love making these sorts of blueprints. It's one of my favorite parts of factory games. And this blueprint was a lot of fun to put together. Will it work though? Probably a better question. I have not tested it out. We are about to find out if it works together. And I really hope it does, because it would tie in together with the Zyronite process I want to build in just a second. The first, Energen. Move on down, bud. Liquid sip, you can actually sip pretty. We need the blue, we need the green, we need the acid from over here. And later we can move these pipes on top of the depot to increase efficiency. Right now, just want things to work out. No liquid acid to spill, thank you. We want it to be a gas first, please. That pipe though just goes over top of this one. We transmute, the gas will then go into there, no problem. Is this working now? No, I forgot. We need liquid Zyronite here. I put a gas in here, didn't I? Fast Gibbs, good job. But also, to be fair, there's no way I was gonna put together something like this and there's not gonna be any problems, okay? Ooh, look at the environments though, pretty. I'm gonna guess it smells like blueberries. But while you can debate that in the comments, quick fix time. So we can try out round 2, this time with the appropriate materials. We have a separating unit that will unpack the liquid Zyronite to make the gas, but now the shape of the blueprint's a little like wonky. I've tried to keep this as a perfect rectangle, but now it's like, I don't know, man. But probably once I see this thing working, a lot of my grievances will go away. That is, once I connect everything back up together here. What what a chaotic mess. But high-key, kinda like it. How's that old saying go? A chaotic factory is usually a productive one? Wait, you're saying that's not a saying at all and ImKibitz is making this all up right now? I don't think so. Because the results will speak for themselves, as this whole system totally for real does work. We have the extra filters. We actually have the toxic and acidic environment. Systems are coming online once the rocks get to their spot. Good, good. Everything's actually working. As I knew it would, as I knew it always would. So the rocks are being split up over here. They're being made into the canisters that go and make the separator cores. The separator cores get sent to the purification unit. The purification unit is getting the gas from back over here, where we're doing the transmuting. Everything, of course, has controlled flow rates because pipes and science. And that cuprium gas gets the purification unit up and running in the stable environment. But wait, do you smell that? Oh yes, what a familiar smell. That would be victory. Or perhaps the acidic environment is melting our skin, but I'm gonna think it's victory, right? Sure. But one last mistake, are you for real? Quite frankly, kinda funny. There we go. The machine is powered. The delicious raw candy acquired, and we have our parts, which can either use or sell for billions of dollary dues. Frankly, I'm in awe of my own genius. Good job, Kibitz. You did it. And this is practically a first go at things, right? There's efficiencies everywhere that can be found, but that's, again, half the fun of factory games, is messing around with things and figuring it out. But the biggest efficiency is not actually with this setup. This setup was more so a little funsies project. Because getting rid of this again for a second here, you'd probably never want a blueprint like that unless you're just getting started. Because really, you want to be super efficient with stable environments. They are super, super valuable because the energen is limited, right? But the effect it can have on your factory is absurd. Specifically for the Zyronite. You can make this into the gases, you can make it into a solid, whatnot, whatever. This stuff is used for everything pretty much, including power. And without a stable environment, this is the whole process to make it. You have to make like carbon, crush it down, combine it with sand leaf, make it into dense carbon stuff, stabilize it, blah, 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 forge in the sky it into Zyronite. But with the stable environment and the forge in the sky, you just have to have one plant loop, a little bit of sip, make a tiny bit of carbon, and there you have it. It cuts out like half the process, and it makes a lot of sense. Like a lot of this process here is to get the stabilized carbon, but you don't need to stabilize the carbon if you just stabilize the environment. Whoa, see what they did there? Some gases. Now switching gears and looking at one of our other factory areas, you can see the impact that I'm talking about, where all of this setup here is trying to stabilize carbon to make the Zyronite. But now half of it is practically just gone. Again, just the carbon bits directly to the forge. So the reality is you really want to use these stable environments better and probably include multiple different factory chains inside of it. So you could have the purification going, and that could be making your headonite gas, and then stuff in your forges, your power plants, or whatever the heck else you want to make. The idea being your gas dispersion units in these environments being the centerpieces of your factories almost. Now what I've been waiting to do is just build the new process. So we'll get rid of all this, we'll get rid of our old setup stuff, then I'll just put down a plant loop blueprint. All we need is just a refining unit, a stable environment, and then the forges. Put that all together in one neat package, and then welcome to the future, where this is the entire Zyronite production chain. Remember the old factory? Yeah, this is the new one. It's amazing. Like night and day space efficiency. And it's easy to build too. You just need the gas. You limit the gas with a control port, GGEZ. And it only uses half of the stable environment. So you can put your purifiers in here. You can just mirror this design on the other side and you'll still have huge amounts of space in your factory to do whatever the heck you want. Like it's truly a game changer. Oh man, I just thought of this. You could even make like a transmutation system on the other end too, eh? Where you can take some of the extra Zyronite and make it into Zyrogen. Ooh, or if you get heavy Zyronite, you can make it into heavy Zyrogen. And things just get crazier and crazier. In fact, I wonder how efficient it would be just to have the gas go into heavy Zyrogen, then you get the solid, turn it back into gas, maybe loop it. What are the numbers on this? 2 heavy to 5 heavy gas. But then when you transmute it back, it's just 5 to 2. Okay, I thought there might be an infinite loop there. Fair enough. Frankly, I'm just really in love with this system and these environments because it just adds an extra layer to the puzzle. Like, do you use the entire environment to make Zyrogenite? Do you want to use it to purify some goods? Or perhaps, screw it. Nah, I want a beautifully small system that works and uses an entire environment for one simple machine. And you know what? You can do that. But frankly, I think it's pretty clear that these environments are going to be used for a whole whack more stuff. Because right now, we know what a stable environment does and the acrid environment does, but there's going to be the different ones, and who knows what other new stuff could be added, right? It's a whole new journey for you to figure out and enjoy. And on your break time, maybe you can go out and fight the new bosses and experience everything else that's new with the game. However though, that is going to be all for now. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more, and check out the game yourself by clicking on that first link in the description. But until next time, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.